Okay, we're now in the kitchen here at the Knights of Columbus at the second annual Youth in Transition Conference. And you can see that I have three individuals with me. And what we'd like to do is just talk a little more in depth about what Youth in Transition means here in Vermont.
Okay, I'm Andrea Yando, Program Manager for Adolescent Services at NCSS. About 4 years ago now, we were asked by the state of Vermont to take a grant, a federal grant, and bring it to our community. Each of the counties across the state had different ideas about what youth in transition meant. But what we heard loud and clear from the state was that they want to build infrastructure within the mental health system for youth voice. And there's lots of different ways to do this. Ebony works with kids throughout the year. She has youth advisory committees. She has an adult advisory committee, Trisha's on. And she goes out to different communities to find out what kids need. So the Youth in Transition Conference today is sort of a culmination of all the work that she's done throughout the year.
And my name is Todd Bauman. I'm the Children's Director at NCSS. And I really appreciate today, because oftentimes in my work, I don't have the chance to sit in front of a group of just these energetic, dynamic, creative teens, these youth. And just listening to the stories that they have, one thing I was struck with is I think that they have the answers. They know what the solutions are if we just take the time to ask and listen. And we heard that really clearly. One of the things that they talked about was that we can't structure them. We can provide too much structure. We need to give them a chance to be teens, to make mistakes, to come together and talk amongst themselves, and not just provide treatment and counseling and therapy, but to give them a chance to come together and just be who they are. We heard that very clearly from them today.
And I'm Tricia Brett. I'm the Juvenile Services Supervisor, St. Albans DCF, and I'm here today with my community collaborators. And part of what we had the opportunity to listen to is a panel of our kids who, two had graduated from the DCF system, two are currently in it. Incredibly articulate young ladies about what they need to make it successfully to transition into young adulthood, and what they've recognized some of their challenges are, and they're plugged into these services, and it's amazing. I mean, I'm incredibly proud to see how far they've come, and that we've been part of that in some part due to the services that we have in place now, which didn't exist a few years ago. So it's just another event that we've got going on here, that the St. Albans community, Franklin County, is just thriving with services. I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Well, thanks to all three of you for joining me in the kitchen here at the Knights of Columbus. This is just gives you a little more insight into what we're dealing with here today on this special day at the second annual Youth in Transition Conference.
And we're also fortunate in our audience to have another alum who, when these kids say, "Do you remember me?" they're the kind of kids we got up to go to work for. And so we will never forget them. And this young lady here, when I see her here as a provider, is incredible. And I just want you to introduce yourself and talk
Sure.
about.
So I'm Candy Clark. I know some of you may not know me, but I work in Lamoille County. I'm a peer outreach worker and a case manager right now. I also was in foster care from age 11 to 18. I aged out of the system. I went to college on my own and lived on my own and fought just like these brave, amazing young ladies did. I also had some pretty extreme challenges while I was in foster care. I was in multiple homes, was very alone a lot of the time. But going forward now, my goal is to get my master's degree. I just applied to UVM to hopefully get the advanced standing position at UVM to get my MSW. So since growing and being in foster care, there's great things that come out of it. There are wonderful people like Trisha. Jeez, you've known me forever. So it's actually nice reconnecting with Trisha and Janet, who were huge parts of my life growing up and huge supporters of me, and actually see them now and still supporting young men and women who were in foster care is huge. So I'm also a product of DCF.